Hello, I am so happy to be joined by Anas, the CEO of Cybermonks. Anas, please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Jane. It's my pleasure, and thanks for having me today. My name is Anas Handous. I'm the CEO of Cybermonks, and we're very glad to have you here in Frankfurt, where our headquarters is based. So thanks for this opportunity.
It's amazing. Look, I'm so excited to talk to you about a huge problem in cybersecurity, and it's specifically around small to medium-sized enterprises. Can you talk to us about what this problem is?
Yeah, actually, it's obviously the let's talk about the size of the challenge, if you want to put it that way, or the problem. So we are talking about big chunk of the economy. Let's take the EU economy, for example. We're talking about 26 million business when it comes to SMEs, SMBs, and we're talking about very big percentage of the overall business or workforces in Europe. And with taking that into consideration, it will be very difficult to ignore and prioritize that part of the market.
So companies are severely under threat from hackers out there. They come in all different types. We've got nation state attackers or hackers. We've got cybercriminals out there, and we've got hacktivists, and we've got script kiddies as well. What types of threats are we seeing out in the wild?
So, interesting question. When it comes to SMEs, we would consider every kind of threat. And the reason is most probably these businesses are not really well equipped or trained or ready for any kind of attack in general. So, and here where the need for rising awareness, rising efforts toward, as we said, it's a big part of the overall business, and it's something that sometimes we don't believe that we're talking about. In some cases, 98% of the businesses. Let's take Europe for an example, and knowing that these businesses on their own are combined holds a big amount of data, rather they are providing services, or they are online shops, or they deal with payments. Then we have to really to consider how serious we should take these threats. So
it's the bulk of the economy, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
When you look at each country,
Absolutely.
small businesses, and they comprise employees that have between 1 to 50 employees, sometimes 250.
Yeah.
But really what we're talking about today are the smaller ones, so the ones that are up to 50 employees, aren't we?
Yeah, so from our perspective, small and medium businesses is obviously the number, let's say, of people working in that organization, but it's also more about how small or how big is the availability of resources, budgets, knowledge. So we can all agree on the term saying it's up to 50, but
yeah, that's a fair point.
We might be surprised that a lot of businesses that we think they are in a mid-size, actually small sizes.
So is it a case of awareness? Is it a case that they actually don't understand the issues? Or is it a case that they don't actually think it's going to happen to them?
Bit of both, let's put it that way. So it's actually always the kind of elephant in the room. So might happen to others, but not to me.
Yeah.
Why anyone would target me as a small business? And the reality is not against type of a business, because these days when we look at attacks, it's not really against a big organization with a lot of high level of secure data. It can be bulk of attacks that would target nearly anyone and everyone. So it's not a selective way of when hackers are planning things, it's not really that it's planned. You're a small business, why do we need you? You hold data. The continuity of your business as an SME is crucial, as important for the economy overall.
So they hold data, they've got information, they've got assets that are valuable to hackers out there, and they are. Am I correct in thinking that they are low-hanging fruit? They're an easy target because
Obviously.
they don't understand, they're not
Obviously.
aware, they don't think it's going to
Yeah.
happen to them. So there's an opportunity for hackers out there to go after them.
I would say the easiest target. And again, considering the numbers that we talked about at the beginning,
Yeah.
we would think like, what could be the accumulated damage? So it's not on a level of one company or two, but we're talking about millions.
Yeah. Well, you spoke about, what was it, 90? Was it 98? How much was it as a percentage in terms of economy?
98% nearly.
98%.
I mean, we did a lot of research
Yeah.
before we started this initiative, or let's say the SME project, and we were really surprised how big is that part of the business toward the economy overall. And again, I used EU as an example.
Yeah.
But if you look all around the world, it wouldn't be smaller.
So what happens? What happens when a small business is attacked? How long have they got to really deal with it? How much of an issue is it for them in terms of like trading? Do they go out of business?
So it's a bit, I wouldn't say scary, but it's a bit serious when it comes to that part of the story. And statistics would tell us, like what a research done by IBM in 2021 will indicate that 60% of the companies that been under a cyber attack went out of business. So
within 6 months.
yes.
Wow, that is incredible.
The reason is because the damage, or let's say the financial impact, most probably is a way bigger than a small or medium business capacity to handle. And we're talking here about, if we want to put numbers in place, we're talking about something or range between 84,000 to 140,000, in that range.
As an average.
As an average damage.
Wow.
And that could be the end of the day for a business or for a small business. Imagine.
Well, yeah, absolutely. How many could actually wear that as a cost? Very few.
I would be surprised if we would say lots of them could handle it, because again, it's a big amount to handle, not taking into considerations a lot of other sides of the story, which is what we see nowadays with all the compliance regulations, what could be, let's say, part of what they could afford as fines or for not complying. So I would say it's an important subject to
It's
deal
massively
with.
important.
Yeah,
it's one of the top issues for small businesses, and they have so many things to deal with. But this has to be a number one priority for them to continue to trade. Obviously, they're out there to make money, but they've got to continue trading and be able to deal with an attack, not just if it happens, but when it happens, or even when they discover it's already happened.
Absolutely. So it's we want to deal with it when it happens, when it's too late to rectify or to recover from the incident, and that, I would say, is a bit tough for small and medium businesses, knowing that there is always a limitation or resources or budget, which is totally fine, totally understandable. And here where we see our job really is to simplify the approach, is to give more accessibility.
But have we made it too complicated?
Fairly, I would say yes. As an industry, we made it very complicated because we've been focusing on high-end enterprises for ages.
Because that's where the money is.
Yeah, exactly. Everything we've done for years, we're targeting that segment of the market, which is absolutely important. But if I look today, big enterprises, big companies, big organizations, they have expertise. They know what to do, and they have a lot of technologies companies queuing on their door, trying to supply or trying to provide new technologies. Knowing that, we would think what we missed so far. Where's the gap? And knowing that the industry is really made to address the
larger enterprises.
Exactly.
They followed the money trail. Just like hackers will follow the money trail. Large companies and vendors out there have done the same thing, and they've almost. Do you think I'm correct in saying they've almost forgotten about small businesses. Because they're not attractive enough.
Yeah.
And I don't want to come down hard on vendors, but because they're not attractive enough for them to make vast amounts of money, unless they're going after huge volume, they've just left them and they've gone after bigger fish.
I mean, it's I would say it's not only that they were not prioritized, but it's also a lot of work.
Yeah,
in a way,
it's very true.
It's a lot of work in terms of like
Educating.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
need when you addressing SMEs means we have to get more localized, more.
Yeah.
We have to address it in non-technical or
Definitely.
non-cyber audience language, and that's really what we experienced. And since we launched this project with Mastercard, and we said, okay, we want to help SMEs.
Yeah, they're the backbone of the economy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we said there's really a need. We can see there's a problem, and it will be not right to ignore
And
it.
is this problem getting bigger because of AI? I mean, everybody's talking about AI. We cannot not have this conversation without talking about AI.
Yeah,
and I don't want to bring fear into it, but I just want to be real about the
Yeah.
situation.
I mean, if AI would play a role in that, is just to make it complicated in the future for these people to address the threats and challenges. But as we speak now, I would say there's nothing called early with AI because we see things moving, if you want, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So absolutely, we hope that AI, and that's of course as a company that is based on an AI platform, and that's what we use. We hope and be aiming that AI would help us in addressing the challenges
from a defense perspective.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Not all the way around. So we don't want to see it from a threat perspective, which is absolutely right.
Yeah.
But we would say, okay, let's try to get the AI capacity on our side.
Yes, which we can do.
Yeah, exactly. And absolutely we can do. And it's not a matter we can or we can't. We absolutely can. But we need to decide that we want really to go and support that segment of the market.
We have to put the effort in.
Exactly.
For things to improve.
Efforts goes from really encrypting the industry.
Yes.
So
now I wanna kind of talk about something that you mentioned to me. You referred to what you are doing with CyberMonks and in collaboration with Mastercard. You spoke about it being almost like a blood test, like a health test,
absolutely.
A check. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
So this is where we started.
Yeah.
When we said, okay, so you would see a lot of, let's say, technologies that people could have as SMEs, and we might talk about firewalls, antivirus, etc. Things that people are familiar with.
Yeah.
But when we decided to go and support SME businesses, we decided to take it to somehow next level, where we want them to understand the problem.
Yeah.
And without understanding the problem, where is my issue? Where should I start? And let's put ourselves for a minute in a hacker shoe, what he would see.
Yeah.
And that's where we started the journey from. We said the first we want to provide the SMEs with is a visibility on cyber risk exposure or their cyber risk exposure.
So what a hacker can see from the outside, from
from outside, not from inside.
Outside.
With that, we say, okay, we designed everything to start with people noticing the risk, understanding where it's coming from, and again, not addressing it in a high sophisticated cyber language, which we understand. Again, I wouldn't expect non-cyber CEOs or business owners really to be forced to understand that language, because it's not their industry. It's our job to facilitate and to translate it, not in the meaning of translation, but really, me and you, we know the industry
in layman's terms. It's almost like democratizing it, isn't it? It's making it accessible so that they have a choice as to what to do.
Unfortunately, it's been, I mean, we are young in this industry.
Yeah.
If you look at the history, we're not an industry that exists for 1,000 years. So we expect things to be easy to change, easy to adapt with the market needs, with what people would want to. So, and again, it comes from the fact that we wanted this industry to have maybe a special magic. So, and that's why it's a bit encrypted. So if you look at other industries, you don't sell racing cars only to racers
Yeah.
or mechanical engineers. I mean, there is
That's
other
true.
kind of market segment or audience. And if I'm driving, let's say, a sporty car, doesn't mean that I can really understand every piece in the engine.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that
It needs
industry,
to work. It just needs to work.
and if you look at the automotive industry,
Yeah.
they really changed that over time. So 50s, 60s, you will see that, yes,
Mm.
sporty cars or racing cars are for racers. But after some time, they were smart. They understand that we have to put it in some friendly way for people to try to buy these products.
Yeah.
And same goes for cyber. And again, it's maybe a story that I told you. We wouldn't be able to reach out to more people, more businesses, and help them unless if we explain what we do, why we do
Yeah.
in their language,
Yeah.
not in our language, not in the way that a CEO of a cyber IT or cybersecurity company or a CISO would understand, because most probably we're not addressing cyber companies because they would do,
Yes.
they would know what to do,
Yes.
right? At the end, it reminds me of a story that I told you and that will tell you how old I am. So when I was a kid, a long time ago, I used to go to a doctor if I have something and I get a prescription.
Yeah.
I look at the prescription. It's impossible to understand anything. The only person who would be able to read the prescription is a pharmacist.
Yes.
It's like there's a magic code, there's an encryption. It's only that the vendor will understand, or the system integrator, or whoever is there, or the consultant. So there is some kind of a secret formula. And if you ask me, this is not true. Because now we're talking about cyber as not as a luxury, it's a must to have.
Yes.
And yeah, if you talk about that, people say, why it's a must to have? Why people will target me? Why?
It's also, I'm thinking about this, you've just been talking about cars. And I'm thinking about brakes. Brakes were there to make cars go faster. And often when we talk about cybersecurity and doing business securely, the solutions that are in place, the association is with reducing risk.
Absolutely.
But actually, much like brakes on a car, they're there to enable companies to do better business, to grow.
That's really, if you ask me, that's the purpose of the entire cybersecurity industry. We meant to secure business so they can continue with doing business.
They can do better.
So it's about business continuity.
It's about growth.
And we keep shifting that subject about like how we can secure you more, which is absolutely a very valid point. But we skip to explain to people that it's meant to
help you grow your business.
Exactly.
It's about enabling
business
Yes.
continuity.
Yes.
We want you to grow while you're not, let's say, under the pressure of losing everything because of lack of cybersecurity. Let's put it that way. Because we see nowadays, unfortunately, because of all the attacks that have been happening for some time, people start to get familiar with it. But on the other hand,
so it's become the new normal. And okay, I'm with you.
Where is the solution? Where is the call to action? And if we will put ourselves in an SME, let's say, or a small business position, okay, I know there's a threat. What should I do? And with the current structure in this industry, it's very complicated for people to reach out to the right solution. Because with the current ecosystem, you're talking about really a blockchain of business processes that would be extremely too much for a small business to handle, running between consultants to system integrators to vendors to wherever you want. And in reality, that's one of the problems we're facing now, because there's a lot of
Complexity, isn't it?
exactly,
They don't know where to
complexity.
start.
And complexity is just bringing more frustration.
Yes.
And
And also confusion. Like a
absolutely,
confused buyer doesn't
absolutely.
buy.
Yeah.
So it can be very much a case of, I understand the problem, but I just don't know what to do about it. And it can also be a case of, I'm working with this partner, you're
Yeah.
outsourcing, thinking that it's all under control and you've got a handle on it, but actually it's not, because they don't know what they're doing.
I mean, if we would think about it, that we believe and we trust that everyone in the industry is they're doing the best to their knowledge,
Yes.
trying their best. But that wouldn't really solve the issue, because if what I'm offering, budget-wise, and requires resource to manage it, is really designed for companies with uh, millions or billions
Yeah.
of revenues every year, then how would I ask you to come and enhance your cyber security ecosystem, or just check what is going on? So we need, at the first place, to provide something that would really fit.
Coming back to your solution, it is equipping the business owners or the IT managers or whoever is in charge of the cyber risk, isn't it? Equipping them with that knowledge so that if they are outsourcing it to someone, they can check. It's like, okay, with the CyberMonk solution, with the risk rating, the scorecard, they can actually look at the report on a minute by minute basis or on a monthly basis or as a one-off, depending on which solution they go for, and actually ascertain, well, this is aligned with what I'm being told.
Sure. That's why we tried to build it from the beginning on, like, let's put it that way, multi solutions that would fit with really the questions. How many resources do you have? Are we checking the current, let's say, cybersecurity status, or do we have, let's say, an IT admin that needs to fix, then he needs a continuous monitoring? Or are we talking about executive or business owners kind of report? So again, the goal here is to give people the chance to really understand what is happening in their own language. So it's not about giving you, let's say, a continuous monitoring, or I give you a report where I say, you know what? You have a problem with batch management. You have a problem with application security. You might have a problem with the continuity of your business based on some DNS configuration or etc. People won't take that. We need to explain them, what is the issue? How do you fix it? Support them not in the way we understand. Support them in the way they understand, in their own language.
Exactly.
And that's what we implemented. So we implemented an omni-channel support center, supporting 45 languages. And yeah, in the IT industry, we say, how is it important? Everything is going well with the English, not for SMEs.
Yes.
Because you want to understand it in your own language. You want to talk to people and ask, where's the issue? How can I fix it next, right? And this is where we put that vision together with Mastercard, saying, we have to do it right, and it has really to fit with local markets and small and medium businesses mindset and the way they understand cybersecurity.
And it's massively important because they are all part of the supply chain. And certainly we talk so much about supply chain vulnerabilities, and small businesses are part of the ecosystem.
Absolutely.
So this actually gives, am I correct in saying that this actually provides a really affordable solution for not just small businesses, but actually larger businesses, because they are a part of the supply chain, these small businesses?
So the challenge we've seen, and as a company that worked in the enterprise space for I would say a long time. Very good example. Let's take supply chain or third party risk as a subject. It's nearly, I won't say impossible, but it's really difficult for enterprise organizations to decide that we want to take it on our own. They have hundreds of thousands of suppliers. And if you think about it, taking that means lots of resources to to manage it, to deal with it. Um, Very high budget. But if we take it from another perspective and think about like, what if we work more on the SMEs that are working with us? Really, if you're talking about supply chain, most probably your issue wouldn't be with your big suppliers who are really set up, they have the knowledge, would be with the smaller ones, right?
Yeah.
So if we work more on enhancing the knowledge, the accessibility for technology
Yeah.
for the SMEs, then we are helping also the enterprise
This is
to be
a
able to
this is
rectify
a
things in a more efficient way.
so you're reducing risk all around, really, from
Absolutely.
the top down
ecosystem,
and then from
yeah.
the bottom up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's one chain, and thinking that okay, God bless small and medium businesses, it's their problem. That's absolutely a wrong assumption, uh, because they are part of every business. If you're talking about like from legal consultants to,
Yeah.
let's say, financial auditors to HR companies,
Yes.
etc., etc.
Yes.
It's very clear we cannot ask these people to go and equip themselves with thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars or euros value technologies. The better solution is to bring something that would fit with their budgets,
Yeah.
fits with
Yeah.
their resources,
Yeah.
capacity, and help them to
Progress,
understand it,
isn't it?
progress it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's not can we do it or not, as I said before.
Yeah.
It's do we want to do it?
Yes.
That's really the big question. And I would say here where we see, I mean, for us, why this project came in the way you see it, because we believe that there's something to be done on the SME market and businesses, and we found out that Mastercard also got the same vision on empowering SMEs, and this is where we thought, okay, we have the cyber expertise, and Mastercard is doing a great job in investing in
They
their
have the
cybersecurity, of
capabilities, don't
course,
they? They've got the
absolutely.
technology. They've been
And
in the game for a long
more than
time.
that, they want to do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is where we said, okay, we have a great mature ground, and this is where we said we're gonna launch what we think is the first cyber marketplace with Mastercard. And the purpose is really to get people to be able to buy or acquire solutions in a very easy way, let's say.
Yeah.
As you
Yeah.
just say today, right? So it's what we're aiming for is a cup of coffee.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's less than a cup of coffee, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, when you think about the cost of it, it's affordable. It's really removing. We spoke earlier today about removing friction, removing an excuse really, or a reason not to move forward with Cybermonks, with the scorecard, and it is less than a cup of coffee. So it's like, why would you not do it?
Absolutely. And then thank you for driving this initiative and participating in and funding with the insecurity movement. Say, okay, if the challenge is budget, there is ways,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
So
With yeah, I mean, look, when you're an entrepreneur, it's about getting resourceful, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's about removing obstacles. So what I want people to really think about is every time they have, and this is like particularly small businesses, every time they have a cup of coffee, it's like to really think about their cybersecurity solutions. Are they confident in their solutions? Do they understand what their risk score is? And how attractive they are to a hacker out there, you know,
yeah,
whether it's a hacktivist or a nation state or a cyber criminal. It's just like when they pick up that cup of coffee, are they sure about how secure they are?
absolutely. I mean, it's that's what the we are very proud to join you on that initiative. And as you say, the purpose is, where is the problem? Are we talking
Yeah,
about budget issues?
yeah,
Then we're running a lot of programs that would help you to go and see what's going on
yeah,
with, as you say, a cup of coffee costs a month.
yeah,
And the purpose really is to be able to empower as many SMEs as we can.
Yes.
And might be the case that, of course, if you are a well-established revenue stream business, you would say, why would I go after that? Because again, as an industry, we need to understand what the market is asking us for.
Yeah.
And we cannot keep doing the same. Few enterprise customers, what they say, 80% of your business by your top 5 customers.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
For how long you could keep supplying the same
Yeah.
customers? And again, we see cybersecurity incidents, and we see attacks. And sadly, it's not the problem that you didn't have a firewall or an antivirus, which all, of course,
Yeah.
very important to have.
Yeah.
And here we are not saying what is important, what is not important.
Yeah.
We're saying you have to have
Understand.
some extra visibility. And again, sadly or unfortunately, the SME business is the one who's paying at the end if something went wrong or if something will go wrong. Who is paying that? It's the business shutting down, facing a lot of financial impacts.
Yeah.
And this is where I would say the CEOs of small and medium companies should really understand that they are the one responsible.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You can hear a lot of good stories about people telling you, yeah, I'm hosting there, I'm using that service provider, which absolutely
Yeah.
good to have, must to people should really look how they could do things in the right way. But who is responsible at the end? It's the business.
It's the business. It's the business.
And
so let's equip the business owners
absolutely
to really understand the problem, the challenge,
it's
and to be able to do something about it. And we don't want to take their dreams away from them. And having a business is their dream.
We want them to enjoy success. We want them to
We
continue
do.
doing
Yeah,
business.
we do.
But unfortunately, that's not how the hackers will think.
No, they're just low-hanging fruit,
exactly,
easy money.
So
yeah,
and that's where we say, okay, we want to provide you with, we call it a hacker view, where you just see what a hacker would see outside. And then the question arises, what should I do next? We're here to help you. And that's why we said, okay.
And you have a support channel as well as part of the service. Can you talk to me about that? Because you have a really unique, you have a really unique support channel. Can you talk to us and just tell us how unique it is and why?
So we have our Paul Monks supporting, which maybe you've seen our funny support team.
I've seen them, but I want you to like tell everyone like these are your they're based on your 2 little dogs, aren't they? They are absolutely gorgeous. I'm not gonna you can
It's the AI version, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
This is it. Yeah, I mean, again, as you say, we don't want to steal anyone's dream. We don't want to make things sophisticated. We want things that you or whoever, as a CEO of a small company, feel like he speaks a language that he understands.
Yes, yes.
And that's pretty different from the enterprise.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. So any problem, any query, if there's a lack of understanding, they can contact you through it's WhatsApp, isn't it? The WhatsApp group?
We have an omni-channel support.
Okay.
So they can go through WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, great.
Because, of course, there is a ticketing system.
Yes.
They could reach out to us. And when I say, because we were able to understand, for example,
yeah,
if you are a CEO or an owner or an IT person in a small company, opening a ticket is not what you want to do. And we've seen that the kind of support that we should provide is completely different from what you do in an enterprise.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And the difference is like assuming that our clients got the knowledge, which of course we think they are business owners, so they're smart, they're successful, and we want that to carry on. And having lack of cybersecurity knowledge shouldn't be a challenge.
Yeah.
Again, we're not saying that we are knocking down the problem. Everyone
you-
is far from that.
Yes.
But we're trying to start something in terms of
Yes.
awareness, in terms of accessibility to
Yes.
technologies. And again, if I could easily walk into the insecurity movement,
Yes.
your
Yeah.
movement,
Yeah.
and I could get funded code to check what is my current cybersecurity status, or just
Yeah.
walk to
To start you off so that you, yeah.
or just walk to Mastercard Cybermonks
Yeah.
marketplace. And the way we build it is you are 3 clicks away from buying or from getting your service up and ready. That's not usually how cybersecurity markets operate,
No.
because you need to talk to a system integrator who would talk to a distributor.
Yes.
With
Yeah.
all my respect,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're not doing a good job, because I'm also part of this
Yes.
industry, so I cannot blame anyone. I would be blaming myself first. But I'm saying it's designed for an enterprise.
Yeah.
And the threat today is not on enterprise only. It is
No.
on enterprise.
Yeah.
But again, I'm out of dealing with a lot of our customers. They all have very good knowledge. In some cases, trust me, they know more than us.
Yeah.
They know more than some of the vendors' resources or whatever. They're doing very well.
Yeah.
I mean, and this industry invested well in bringing the latest knowledge, obviously, because we're talking about big businesses. And maybe it's time to look at the other side of the story and learn from what we did in the enterprise space, where we say, okay, we have some knowledge how an attack will be structured. Where is most likely to start with? What should we secure first? What is the priority? And from that understanding over years, we could say, okay, the conclusion in a very handy way, that's what we put into an SME service shape.
To give them that risk score, the prioritization, the knowledge, that's cyber literacy, so that they're now far more empowered to actually go forward and not just ensure that their businesses are resilient and they can do business securely, but so that they can grow their business. They can do more. They can expand and move into different territories with the understanding that that they are secure.
It's part of everything they do, because again, if you are a small company, but you're supplying another big company,
Yeah.
then there's things you should do. Again, if we go more talking about ISO or compliance,
or the GDPR,
exactly.
or
So
DORA, or
we cannot say, or
other.
no one can say, it's okay, I don't need it. Bad news, you
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah.
No.
You're held
So
accountable.
you have to do it. Otherwise, I mean, imagine an online shop, or someone is selling something online. What does it mean if that service or that online shop goes down for a week? How much losses? How much reputational damage? How likely is that people come back to this unsecure website to try and buy anything?
Yeah.
And from that, we can take tons of examples.
I like that. And the average time for a company to actually be not trading is, what is it, 14 days to
160
Yeah.
nearly. So
I mean,
it can be game over.
That is incredible.
And this is where we need to be mindful about. If I'm an owner of a small business, I wouldn't think about it from how knowledgeable I am in cyber. It's how this could impact my business continuity.
Yeah.
How much damage this could do to my dream project. Because, especially in small business, people are so attached to their projects, which absolutely understandable. And from that perspective, we need to highlight that you need it, not because we are trying to push you to another zone where you are more worried. That's not the point. Point is, it's there. You just need to see it. And this is where we also structured the model that we have for SMEs, saying we will start with 5 products around cyber exposure, from portals to reports with local languages, to even certificates where people could use that they are, let's say, A-rated, and that
Being
would
the
help
top, being the
and that
top,
would
yeah,
help them with
the
their
top rating.
if they are running into a bigger let's say ecosystem in terms
Yeah,
of supplying.
yeah,
And we said, okay, we will bring more things on ID theft, on phishing awareness, on ransomware. So that's the plan. We want to bring to the SME a very accessible package
yeah,
where you are really getting the service in a handy way and you could understand it in your own
yeah.
language and understand what's going on.
I love that. I love that. Anas, thank you so much for talking to us
Pleasure.
today. I
Thanks
really
for having
enjoyed
me.
it. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much. And we are looking forward your new initiative
Yes,
around SME
yes.
and very proud to be part of it.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jane.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks.